It's kind of no plot, just vibes. It's gonna really annoy everyone how much I'm saying whimsical in this video, isn't it? It works in the book. One of the most whimsical books I've ever read. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video I'm going to be going through books that I think are whimsical. Now the word whimsy and whimsical has been very present in 2026 so far. It's been a big word. Everyone kind of wants to live their life in more of a whimsical way. And so I thought, why not give you some recommendations of books that I think are personally quite whimsical for you to read to really make every part of your life as whimsical as possible. Apologies, I do have a cold, which isn't very whimsical of me. So if my nose is quite red, if I sound quite blocked up, that is why. I didn't really think too much of it. I just looked at my bookshelf and I thought of the word whimsical, and whatever kind of jumped out at me, I went with. So the first one I've got is The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. I feel like the cover might not look that whimsical because it's quite dark, but I think just the vibe of the story, the way it's kind of no plot, just vibes, and I feel like a lot of the time with more whimsical books are kind of more like that. So we follow this circus that kind of just pops up anywhere it likes all around the world. We follow the POVs of different people in the circus and also the different people who are in the places where the circus has popped up and their experience of going to this circus. We have a boy and a girl who are trained up from their youth to be able to duel each other and fight each other to the death, which really doesn't sound very whimsical, but that is actually not a very big plot point of it, but that is like a kind of running thing throughout the book. And then we just kind of follow loads of different POVs and there's not a crazy amount of structure. I just think that it completely transports you into this world of this circus, and that's why I think it's whimsical. The next one we have is The Wishing Game. This one is again quite dark, but I think the cover is giving a little bit more whimsical. It's a really short and sweet book as well, which is really nice. On this one we follow Lucy Hart, who is a teacher or a teacher's aide, and she has this book series that she found so much solace in as a child, and she is now a teacher's aide to this young boy who is going through a lot of troubles. She really wants to adopt him, but she just doesn't have the funds. But then the author of this book series that she reads to this kid and that she has such an attachment to does this competition where if you win it you get his only copy of this new book that he's written, and there'll only be one copy ever in the world. And so she's like, I could win this, sell the copy to a publisher, and then have enough money to be able to adopt Christopher. So they enter into this competition. They have to go to this island which this author lives on and complete these trials, and I just think it's so fun and so different, kind of whimsical because it's not fantasy, but obviously no author lives on an island where they can put on this competition for people. Then we have The 7 Year Slip by Ashley Poston. I feel like any of Ashley Poston's books could be described as whimsical, but this one is my personal favourite by her. So in Ashley Poston's books, they are not fantasy, but they are magical realism, so they don't have a lot of reason or explanation behind why there's this one magic thing in her books, but there is just a magic thing in her books. So in this one it is the apartment that our character lives in. Sometimes when she goes into this apartment it is travelled 7 years back in time, and in 7 years back in time there is this man who lives in this apartment instead, who her aunt, who previously owned the apartment, let stay there. So she goes into her apartment, which her aunt has now passed away and given her, one day, and this man is sitting in there and she's like, this is my apartment. He's like, no, this is my apartment. And they kind of have to coexist together, and I think they kind of eventually figure out what's going on, but then they kind of fall in love, but they can't go outside the apartment because when they're outside the apartment they're no longer living in the same time anymore. I feel like this cover is absolutely giving whimsical as well. I love the cover and the back of it. Then we have Once Upon a Broken Heart, and talking about whimsical covers, this is one of the most whimsical covers you will ever see, and I think Once Upon a Broken Heart by Stephanie Garber has the most whimsical main character ever. Like, just the character of Evangeline, the only way to describe her is whimsical. So we follow her, and she has had this heartbreak, and so she goes to the Prince of Hearts to kind of sort out this heartbreak for her. When you go to any fate, there is kind of a consequence for making a deal with him. So the consequence to making a deal with him, I believe, is that he asks for 3 kisses to be given at any time and place of his choosing, which sounds really strange, and every time I describe this book I'm like, that is really a strange thing. It works in the book. End up entangled together because of this deal, and she kind of realises, you know, it's never good to make deals with the fates. They have a little bit of a romantic connection spark. The world is very whimsical, there's balls, and I really love her and Jax, who's the Prince of Hearts. I think that they are such a cute and lovely love story, and our main character Evangeline is just such a breath of fresh air and just such a beautiful main character. Then we have the Rewitched series by Lucy Jane Wood. Now this one, again, the cover is giving very whimsical, and then we have the second one up here which is called Uncharmed. Beautiful whimsical cover. I'd say the second one is probably more whimsical than this one because of our main character in that book. She is quite whimsical, but I'll just explain what goes on in these books. So these books are cozy witchy fantasy books, and they basically follow a main character who is a witch in modern day. Nobody obviously knows that they're a witch, they have to keep it very secret, but they can do all these fun little magic things. And in this one we follow, what was her name, Belladonna. She works in a bookshop, and they always have such fun, cute, whimsical jobs as well. Like this one works in a bookshop, one in Uncharmed, she works in a bakery, so they live very cute whimsical lives. It's gonna really annoy everyone how much I'm saying whimsical in this video, isn't it? But that's what the video is about. She kind of loses her spark for magic, and on your 30th birthday you have to go to the witches kind of like meeting place for them to decide whether you can still be a witch and whether you should still have your powers or not. And she kind of has to try and pass this test, but she's lost her spark for magic, and it's about her getting that spark back. And a lot more happens in this. It's not just a cozy fantasy, like a lot happens in it, but it's really amazing, and I love just the whole vibes of the book. They're so pretty. Like the chapters have little cute pictures, sprayed edges are so cute as well. And then in Uncharmed, she's a bakery owner, is a bit lost in her life, and she doesn't know where she fits in anywhere, and then she meets this young witch who is kind of out of control with her powers, and she has to live with this young witch and try and train her to be able to use her powers properly, and they kind of form a little bit of found family, and it's really sweet. Next we have Divine Rivals. I would say Divine Rivals, Ruthless Vows, and the prequel, which is Wild Reverence, which is up there, are such whimsical books. I think probably the first book in Divine Rivals is probably the most out of all of them. So we follow Iris and Roman, and they work together, and they have like kind of a rivalry with each other in the workplace. They work for a newspaper, and they're both trying to get like the best articles all the time. And then Iris's brother ends up going off to war because this war starts, and Iris has to write up about the war, but she's also trying to keep in contact with her brother by using this typewriter to write him letters. It ends up being a magical typewriter, and the letters end up going to Roman instead, and so her and Roman start this back and forth exchange, but Iris doesn't know that she's actually talking to Roman. She knows she's not talking to her brother, but she doesn't know who she's talking to, and they kind of form a relationship even though they hate each other in real life. Just the whole vibes of it, the magical typewriter and the gods and the romance, and it's a very fun read. Lastly, I have Half a Soul by Olivia Atwater. This one I read on my Kindle, and I didn't honestly remember it until I was trying to remember whimsical books, and I was like, that one was actually one of the most whimsical books I've ever read. It wasn't my favourite. I think I gave it a 3-star or 3.5, but if you're looking for a whimsical book, it's very fun. So it follows, and I need the book in front of me because I forget everyone's name, Theodora. She was cursed, and then she kind of had to give away half of her soul, and so she kind of feels things in half. So she doesn't feel a lot of emotions like normally the way most people would feel them, and she finds it quite hard to form a relationship for that reason. And so she is unmarried, and she's kind of like, they've kind of given up on her. It's set in Regency time, so like imagine in Bridgerton, they call you a spinster. They've kind of given up on her marrying, and they've moved on to her cousin, is it? It was someone in her family. They move on to trying to set her up, but whilst they're trying to set her up, Theodora meets Elias, who is a sorcerer, and he can kind of cure her of her curse, and so they kind of spend more time together, and they eventually fall in love. And because of like the fairy curse and it's set in Regency times, I just think it's very fun and whimsical to read. And those are all the recommendations I have. I have more, but I wanted to keep this video a little bit concise, not overwhelming you with too many whimsical recommendations. I do have a few more that I would like to recommend at some point. If you would like a part 2, please give this video a thumbs up. Please comment down below if you have any recommendations. I'd love to read them. You can subscribe down below, turn the bell on, you'll be notified every time I upload, and if you want to, you can follow my social medias @libraryofeden on both TikTok and Instagram, and I'll see you in my next video very soon.